All right, if you have listened to me at all, you have probably heard Ed Milet brought up multiple times. Um, he has been such a game changer in my life, and so I listen to him often. And one of the terms that he uses is such a game changer. He calls it blissful dissatisfaction. And what that means is enjoying the present while still striving to grow and achieve. The way I look at it is I love who I am today, but I don't want to be her tomorrow, right? I think we have such a tendency to either not want to grow at all because it requires us to get uncomfortable. It requires us to step out of our comfort zone. And so we get complacent and go, I love my life exactly how it is. Now, maybe there's a few of you who do, but I believe there's more who don't. Because how many of you, myself included, do a New Year's resolution every year? That says you're not satisfied where you're at. You want to grow. But how many of us don't really succeed with fulfilling those resolutions because it would require us to get uncomfortable? It would require us to get moving. It would require us to change our life in some way, shape, or form. And while we don't want it, or while we want it because we don't want to stay where we're at, we don't want it bad enough to change who we are. When we become comfortable or complacent, we miss out on so many opportunities of personal growth. So many opportunities, period. If we're not willing to get uncomfortable, we're not going to take that new job. If we aren't willing to get uncomfortable, we're not going to step into an opportunity that could change our lives because that would be scary. That would make our hearts start beating too fast, a pit in our stomach, your chest feel heavy. It could create any one of these physical issues, right? Because that's what we've taught. When fear comes, our body reacts. And our brain says, ooh, we got to stop our body from being in this panic. And so let's go back to where we're comfortable. And then you stay exactly how you are. You got to be willing to get uncomfortable. Now, on the flip side, and I've done both, I have been totally guilty of both. On the flip side, we can become so obsessed with growth, with our goals, with our achievements, that we don't stop to celebrate the steps along the way. We don't stop to enjoy the journey. We are so focused on that goal that we can't see the things we're doing to get us closer to that goal. I had a mentor who would say, you need to celebrate the small things. And I'm like, why? It's not what I want. I'm going after this. Why should I celebrate that I got to here? Well, because if you don't celebrate that you got to here, you're going to feel like you're never moving forward. You're going to feel like you are banging your head against the wall and getting nowhere. But if you celebrate along the way, number one, you're going to keep your joy in your growth, right? You're going to see your growth because you're going to be celebrating it. And so to find that blissful dissatisfaction, you're going to have to start enjoying the journey, which the journey takes so much longer than the goal that you really need to stop and enjoy the whole point to getting there. The journey sometimes is way more important than the goal, and we just don't know it. Who we become while going after that goal is what it's all about. So start enjoying the journey. You can still have motivation and drive while celebrating the wins. I used to think if I celebrated, it would stop my drive, it would stop my motivation. It just made me feel like, what am I celebrating for? I haven't got there yet. And that is so wrong. So you got to learn to celebrate the small step. You got to enjoy the journey all along the way. But you also got to be unsatisfied enough to fight for change, because what happens is when you get complacent, you aren't going to adapt to change very well, right? You're going to actually be afraid of change. You might even start getting lazy because pursuing your goals and new experiences and different things is going to make you uncomfortable. So you just become lazy and go, yeah, I'd love to do that, but it would require this. And so here's why you have to change how you look at both. You got to change what you believe about being uncomfortable. When you change what you believe about being uncomfortable, and it's possible, trust me, you are going to get excited about being uncomfortable. I love being uncomfortable. And if you don't believe that, look at what I've done in the last 6 months. I have pushed myself out of my comfort zone at every point. And here's why. When my life was at its lowest, when I was stuck in survival, oh man, I also, if you heard, I was stuck, right? And so nothing ever changed. And so when I quit changing, I am so afraid of going back to that stuck and that survival mode that I crave change, because that means I'm not going to be stuck again. That means I'm not just going to be surviving again. It means that next January isn't going to look like this January, right? That tomorrow's not going to look like today. It means that I get to have something to look forward to in life and not just get by. When I was surviving, every day looked the same. I had nothing to look forward to. So if I'm not changing, I am staying the same, and I'm going to go back to that. Now, is that true? In my mind, it is. And yes, there is that possibility, right? Because when we get stuck, what is it you're looking forward to? What is it that you want your life to look like? Is it something that you're willing to fight for? I wasn't for a long time. I didn't think I had the ability. I had got so stuck that I didn't know that change was something I could create. I didn't know that change was something to not be afraid of, but to celebrate. So when I get the opportunity to get uncomfortable, it tells me I'm going to grow and I'm going to change, and I am going to become a better version of myself than I am today. And that means I'm not going to be stuck. Oh my gosh, how powerful is that? So when you start looking at getting uncomfortable as a way to guarantee your life is going to be better, bigger, more, yes, you do. You start getting excited about being uncomfortable. Does it mean the fear isn't there? No. It means that you have the courage to do it anyway. It means that, for me, I have the excitement, because even though it's going to be scary, on the other side, it's going to be so amazing. I just walked through that scary fire or whatever and came out the other side, and now I'm a better version of myself, or I've learned more. We need to absolutely understand that change and getting uncomfortable is such a blessing. It is such an empowering tool, and quit looking at it with fear. It really is the game changer. And then we need to remember to celebrate the journey along the way, because if we are just working and working and working at that goal, we are not in a much better place than we were when we were stuck, because we still haven't found that joy. We still are just getting through life. When you find that blissful dissatisfaction and you're ready for the growth and the change, and you're finding the joy along the way, guys, that's when you live an authentic life. That's when you live an abundant life. That is when you become the best version of yourself yet. And every day, my version gets a little better. I really want for you to be unstuck. I really want for you next year, tomorrow, next week, next month. It doesn't matter, to look and say, wow, look at my growth. Look at who I am. I am not that same person. I can guarantee next January, when I look at where I am compared to where I am today, it's going to be hugely different. Just like if I looked at last January, I can guarantee you it did not look like today looks like. You know, last January, I'm still working for that company. I am still focusing on growing for them. I am still focusing on not being ready to become who I'm meant to be, because I wasn't ready to take the leap, because I've always known that I wanted to have my own company. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to help others see who they can become, to see their potential. I wanted to help others become unstuck, because I never wanted anyone to feel how I felt. And I wanted it bad, but not bad enough to change, not bad enough to walk away from the stability of a weekly paycheck, the stability of having the backing of this corporation. I wanted it, but I was still dealing with being afraid to step out on my own, with doubting that I was enough. And I guarantee when you do it, when you go through this, you won't be the only one, and you won't be the first one. You are not alone in getting uncomfortable. You are not alone in facing your fears and going through that fire. But you are going to see a strength you didn't know you had. You are going to see a different part of you didn't even know was there. You're going to become so much closer to who you are meant to be. Guys, start fighting for that blissful dissatisfaction. Start fighting for the life that is going to be authentically you, not the comfortable life. Yeah, I love my life. I truly do. Each day has been a blessing and a joy. But I do not want to be having this exact growth or lack thereof next week, right? I need to keep changing and growing and learning. Man, the person I am becoming because of what I'm learning every day is huge. You know, my daughter-in-law, Brooke, and I have been working at learning a lot. And we are trying things that we don't even know if we want to learn, but we don't know. So let's jump into it. We are just, somebody says, you want to learn this? We're like, sure, why not? Because until we go and investigate, we don't know if it is something that is going to be life-altering for us. We don't know if it is going to be the thing that is going to take us to the next level, or if it was just the opportunity to learn more, right? And maybe this thing I'm learning today that really doesn't feel like it's me right now, maybe something that down the road I can go, ooh, I actually learned a little bit of this and I know where to go to learn more. So get out there, get curious, get wanting more, get ready for change, get ready to get uncomfortable, and give yourself permission to step into the fear anyway. Give yourself permission to be courageous, and do not allow yourself to stay stuck. It is a choice. It's a choice that only you can make. You make the choice for whatever life you have. Do not fight to stay where you're at. If you're going to fight, fight to become the next version of you. We have dreams for a reason. They are not to be unmet. They are not to be something that only special people get. We have a dream because it is what we are meant to fulfill. We have a dream because somebody out there is waiting for us to do it. Do not be so afraid that you let your life pass you by. Let who you are meant to become not be fulfilled. The saddest thing that I think could happen to any of us is that we never live authentically us. We never go for our dreams. We never strive for more. We stay stuck in comfortability. We stay stuck in fear, in doubt. You deserve to become who you are meant to be. You deserve to live out your wildest dreams, and you deserve more than you're giving yourself today. So get out there and start fighting for blissful dissatisfaction. It is absolutely, to me, the everything. It is what made my life. It is what made me go after my dreams and enjoy the journey along the way. I always was one or the other. I couldn't do both. And it taught me I deserve both, and so do you. Thank you for spending this time with me and for listening with an open heart and for choosing to invest in your growth today. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who might need the reminder that their dreams still matter. Sometimes one conversation, one message, one moment of encouragement can change everything. And if you want to go deeper, my book, Rise, Believe, Become, was written for the in-between seasons, the moments when you know there's more for you, but you're still finding the courage to take the next step. You can find my book on Amazon, and remember, no matter what phase you're in, your dreams don't expire. Until next time, keep rising.